What's up, guys? This is Zach Schweitzer, PDGA number 84367. I'm on Team Prodigy, and this is what's in my bags.
I don't always throw Prodigy plastic, but when... yes, I do.
Oh yeah! Whoa! That dude rips! Nice shot, brother!
Zach's the type of guy that when you're having a terrible round of disc golf, he's going to try and make 10 bad jokes in a row just to get that one good laugh at the end.
Throwing Prodigy's kind of like finding $20. It's the best.
The best stash in the game in Pittsburgh.
You can throw an easy 5 bills with a piece of sliced bread.
So for all of you out there who may have just stumbled across this in the bag and don't know him, this picture pretty much sums up Mr. Schweitzer. A true OG. Zach, you're paying me for this, right? All right, first we're going to the top pocket where I keep my putters and my approach discs. These are going to be the best discs in my bag. If I'm throwing these things well, I'm playing well. I'm putting with the special edition PA3 in 300 plastic. I may switch to 350G come summertime, but if I'm putting good with these, there'll be no looking back. I approach with a 350G PA3. I'm throwing this thing whenever I need something to hyzer flip, to turn right. I use it a lot for long jump putts. It's pretty flippy, it's pretty concave, it's a good approach disc. My favorite approach disc, the A2. This thing's beefy. It's in 300 plastic, so it feels great. I can throw this thing nice and flat, and I know it's going to fade every time. This thing's getting me a lot of birdies. I got a Proto PA1 that I got from my main man, Dan Horwat. I'm throwing this thing for nice straight shots with a little bit of fade. Really loving the PA1. 300 PA3, shout out to the Zambia Open. This thing, hyzer flip straight, minimal fade, and any angle I put this thing on, it's flying. I'm loving it. Last one here is a 400 PA4. This thing's a little flippy. I can throw it on a hyzer flip and get it to turn right. That's mainly the shot I throw it for. If I need something like that, or if I need to go right with some glide, I'll throw it flat and get it to go right with that glide. So another good one. Into the mid-ranges / approach disc, if you will. I'm throwing a Kevin Jones M3, 750 M3 right now for that hyzer flip to straight shot. It'll just go straight. That's what this thing does. Shout out again to the Zambia Open. This thing is an M4. It's puddle top. It's really flippy. I'm throwing this thing for forehands that I need to get left, backhands that I need to go right. It's a nice disc to have in the woods. Last but not least, for the mid-range approaches is my A2. Nice flat one in 400. This thing's beefy, and I can count on this thing every time to go right or left, depending on if I throw it backhand or sidearm. Next up, we're going to go with fairways. Right now, for my overstable to stable shots, I'm going with my 400G F2. Really, really loving the F2. I just started throwing it recently, and I'm leaning on it now. Also, the F3. The F3s, this one's beat in pretty good. I'm throwing it hyzer flip to, a little bit turn right and finishing on my line, my straight line. I'm really digging it. And then last but not least will be the 750 F5. This thing I'm throwing for forehand shots because it's nice and flat. Something that I need to get over, or backhand rollers. I haven't put in too much time with this yet, but I'll be throwing it a lot here pretty soon. Next, we're getting into the H series drivers, and this will start off the section of my lavender bag. So, which there's only 3 lavender discs, whatever. The H1. I'm absolutely loving the H1 for stuff that needs to be overstable. This thing is a beefcake. Loving the H1, forehand and backhand. And it's little brother, but isn't that much littler. The H1 V2 is probably my favorite Prodigy disc right now. I've been leaning on this thing like crazy for forehands, backhands, whatever. Loving it. This is the newer one. And then the older one, I've had this for a little bit longer and it's beat in. This thing is so good, the H1 V2 and 400. I got this one to beat in to go nice and straight with a touch of fade, loving it. Last but not least on the H series discs is the 750 H3 V2. This is beautiful Spectrum plastic. Best looking Prodigy disc I own, probably. And the H3 V2 flies hyzer flip nice and straight, little bit of fade. It's very, very good. I'm really pumped on it. Next is my drivers. Got a few of them. Right off the bat, most overstable one. Most overstable disc in the bag is this X1. This thing is going to go left or right. Backhand, forehand, whatever. It's so good. I can just rely on it. I know where it's going every time. Core Team D2. This is my most overstable D2, nice and flat. These things, I can rely on these a lot to get just a little bit more distance than the X1. Probably a little bit more than a little bit of distance on the X1, but good. I know it's overstable. I know it's going left when I throw it backhand. Next up, the 400 D2. This thing gets just a little bit more straighter flight, a little more turn than the Core Team D2. This one I'm throwing if I need to go far and straight. Throwing this one flat. Next up is another 400 D2. This one has just a little bit less stability. So this one will go a little bit right and finish straighter on a line. This one is, if I'm going straight, that's the one I'm throwing. Next is one of my favorite forehand drivers, nice flat 400 D3. I love forehanding this disc. I can hit lines great, and it's in a stability that it's beat in right now to really work with my forehand. The next one's a first run D3. This one's pretty flippy. I throw this one backhand because it's got a little more dome, a little more glide than the other D3, but this one, hyzer flip to turn, bomber. This thing flies really far. And then the last one, the flippiest, the D6. This one, pretty much a roller disc. That's pretty much all I'm throwing this thing for. Backhand roller, so. Yep. This year I'll be happy to rock the BP V2 bag by Prodigy. This thing is absolutely crazy. It's so nice. Magnetic pockets on the side, which are just awesome. Can't get enough of those. The bag, the extension pockets, you can actually make the bag bigger depending on how much stuff you have. It zips open or closed. Awesome. The putter pouch on top will hold 5 putters. Another thing I'm always carrying in my bag when I'm out, carry towels, plenty of towels. I'm always carrying my whale sack. I love Tina and I love Eric. I love Eric more than Tina, for the record. I got my kitty sack. I'm always carrying a whale sack, keep these hands dry. I didn't need it today because my hands are freezing cold, but loving the whale sack, always carrying them. Well guys, that's what's in my bag. Hope to see you out on the course throwing some Prodigy plastic. If you see me around, do not hesitate to come say hello. I may have a mustache at the time. I'm not sure. It depends on what my wife's feeling. So, thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.